One of the biggest concerns for customers using centralized computing solution is the single point of failure. Customers may fear that if the server fails, it will stop all users from working. vMatrix Server Manager includes a hot spare feature to provide reliability for your RDS deployment. The hot spare with vMatrix Server Manager is a failover policy to ensure business continuity for a server group with multiple running hosts. The implementation of hot spare is flexible for different use cases. Some customers may have an active backup server which is left idle and allows access only when the primary server is down. But more customers prefer to have all servers in use with certain redundant resources, so when one of the servers fails, the other servers can temporarily withstand the workload of the failed server. Let's take the following use case for example. We have three servers with their separate IP address as 192.168.1.11, 192.168.1.12, 192.168.1.13. Usually, user 1 to 10 will run on server 1. User 11 to 12 will run on server 2. User 21 to 30 will run on server 3. In case of any single server down, the other two servers will fairly host 15 users. In case of two servers down, the only active server will host all the 30 users. Now let's see how to configure hot spare for this use case. Before you configure hot spare, make sure that there are at least 30 local or domain users on each server. Now let's first configure server 1. Open vMatrix Server Manager. Go to the server group configuration page. Select to enable hot spare and then enter a name for the server group. For example, demo group. Enter the IP address of the other servers to be added to the server group. On the server IP address 192.168.1.11, we have to add server with IP address 192.168.1.12 and 192.168.1.13. If you have modified the network port through configuration, network ports configure vMatrix network service, then enter the modified one. If it hasn't been modified, keep the default and click the Add button. Then click the Save button to save the changes. Go to the user management page, right-click on user 1 to 5 and select connection priority. The connection priority is shown only when you have set up a server group. Set the server with IP address 127.0.0.1 in the first position. The IP address 127.0.1.1 refers to localhost. Set the server IP address 192.168.1.12 in the second position and the one with 192.168.1.13 in the third. Click OK to apply settings. And then set connections priority for the rest of the users as required. Connection priority for all users can be configured as shown on this table. Now do the same configuration on the other servers in the same server group. Enable hot spare, enter the server group name, and add IP address of the other servers in the server group and set connections priority, the same as the first server for the users. Connection priority for servers on the other two servers shall be set like this. By now, the hot spare configuration is done. To disable server group configuration, simply select the Disable option at the server group configuration page. Changes will take effect immediately after saving. More about configuration. When a server group policy is applied, the host name displayed in the host list of the terminal device will be the server group name instead of a specific host name, and other host information such as the operating system version, software version, and host IP address will be the information of any host that first start communication with the terminal device or the one you manually enter its IP address. To connect to the primary server when it is back online from a failure, users simply sign their session off from the alternate server and connect again. If there are two or more same active sessions in the server group, users will be automatically connected to the previous session regardless of the connection priority. Server group name and IP address shall be the same among all server members in the server group. Server groups are defined by name. If the server group name of one server is different from other servers, it means that the server is a member of a different group, even if its IP address is added by other servers. If any server member is configured with incorrect IP address, the configuration will not be effective to this server. Hot spare policy with vMatrix Server Manager only ensures the continuity of desktop access, but for business workplace, the continuity of data access is as much important. In this case, a shared storage system is recommended to allow the staff to get back to their work document when they switch to another server. You can also set up folder redirection and roaming user profiles in a Windows domain to ensure integrity and consistency of user data across multiple servers.